everyone, it's Alison Sullivan. I am an independent stand-up demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. Welcome to my live. I'm just going to turn down my fan, which was going a little bit too crazy. There we go. It's hot today, so I've got my fan on. So hopefully you guys will find me. And okay, let's see here. Let's see. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm live on my Facebook page and you guys can hear me. Hi Mo, how are you? I've been racing around like a crazy person today. I just got home about 20 minutes ago. I'm getting my hair done. And the traffic to the North Shore was a nightmare. Thank you. Oh yes, let's look at my hair. Let's look at my hair. There we go. Here's my hair. Yeah. It normally should take about 40 minutes to drive there, and this morning it took 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I was late. Anyway, here I am. Hi, Bobby. How are you in Virginia? Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm so glad you guys found me. Yay, because I'm going an hour early now, right? Okay, so there's what we're going to work with. We're going to work with Sophisticated Sled, which is one of the new bundles that's in the, hi Keisha, which is one of the new bundles that's in the online exclusives, right? So online exclusives, I've shown you where to find it before, but just as a reminder, you're going to go to my store, shopcrazywithalison.com, and when you, gosh, I can't even think, when you click on, what are we clicking on? Clicking on something, menu, I think, and then online exclusives is one of the subsections you can choose, and there is tons and tons and tons of new stuff, so you don't want to miss it. Okay, so I'm going to just go like full on for the set we're using. Isn't it cute? Love the little skates and the sled. Cardinal, cute. The sentiments are nice too, because you've got the kind of sans serif, and then you've got the really fun script, okay? And they'll work for like a winter birthday or anything, really. All right, so that's what we're going to use. This is my next class. So I still have openings for my current class, which is Attention Shoppers, and that you have to register for that by this weekend because it's getting mailed out on Monday. This class is after that. It's August 10th. Okay, so August 10th. And it comes with 8 cards, just like we normally have. 8 cards, 4 designs, 2 of each. And then you're going to get half a pack of one of the brand new designer series papers. So let me show you. This is, look at this, green and gold specialty. Comes 12 by 12. It is, you're going to get half a pack. So you're going to get double this. Okay. I love this design. And you've got those beautiful gold highlights. I hope you can see them. Okay. And then here's the other side. Look at this whole sheet of gold. And then these ones here have gold in them. Okay. So you're going to get half a pack of that. You're going to get a full package of cherry, cobbler, and pearl adhesive back berries. Here's what they look like. So a whole pack of those. And then you're going to get up half a roll, 5 yards of cream 1/4 inch ribbon. I don't have it to show you. I'm sorry. But that's what's going to come with your kit. So $45 for all that. And listen, if you buy the Sophisticated Sled in July for your class on August the 10th, you're going to earn a bonus day coupon that you can spend in August, right? Because for every $60 you spend, you're going to get a $6 coupon. All right? All right. So let's get started. Today I'm starting with Mossy Meadow. Okay, and I've just cut this to 8.5 by 5.5, our standard, right? With a 4 1/4. I was saying crease. Oh my goodness. What am I trying to say? See, I literally walked in the door after fighting traffic for, let's say, almost 3 hours, plus my appointment was 2.5 hours. I'm exhausted. Score line. That's what I'm looking for. Scored. Okay. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. So that's our base. Then I've gone ahead and cut a piece of Designer Series paper, which I chose this one, the gingham one. I love this. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is just 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, we can go ahead actually and glue that down. Let's do that. How's everybody doing today, by the way? Everybody doing okay? Staying cool? I saw my daughter sent me a video yesterday, Mo, of the Hurricane Beryl went, has slowed down to, it's not a hurricane anymore, but it hit Toronto, and I guess they got the remnants of the rain and a bit of wind, I guess. Anyway, gosh, that was a devastating storm, wasn't it? All right, so we've got that. Now, next up, I've got a piece of crumb cake. Hi, Leanne. It is cooler today, isn't it, hon? Oh, thank goodness, because it was getting grim there, wasn't it? And it's only going to be 15 overnight, man. Oh, so we're going to get some relief from the heat. Yay. I'm going to emboss this crumb cake. Now, this crumb cake is cut 2.5 by, I think it's 4.5. You better check because I like to tell you guys, right? 4.5 by 2.5. Okay. I want to emboss it. I'm going to use the Timber 3D folder. So this is a product that we've had for a while, this embossing folder, but it's so great. Now I want to make sure that my timber's going the right way. So I have to turn it this way because this is like the grain. Does that make sense? And I want it to be lengthways. So I'm going to just do that. And I'm just using that line as a little guide to tell me if it's straight or not. So I have to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, the regular size one. And I'm using platform 1. And then I've got my embossing folder plus my cardstock. And then you've got that big gray plate, that number 4. And I'm just going to take it over and run that through. Because it's a 3D embossing folder, that's the sandwich that you're going to need to use. Okay. All right. Got that. Okay. So there you go. You got that nice wood. Whoop. And you could actually, if you wanted, take some ink and just add a little bit of ink, and those kind of ridges will pop out. You could use with the white crafting. That would be kind of cool. It would almost look like a weathered look, right? I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So I'm just going to glue this to the left side. Okay, just like that. There. Okay. All right. So that's the start of our card. Pretty simple. You got lots of rain, more to come tonight, but you got rid of the humidity. Oh, that's good. Hi, Ellie. That's good because sometimes you just need that to move the humidity out, right? Okay. Now let's grab some dies. I'm going to use a piece of basic white and the skates. So the skates. Okay. Then I've got a piece of silver foil. I don't need the whole sheet here, so I'm going to save that. And I'm going to use that for the blades of the skate. And then lastly, I've got a little piece of pecan pie, and I'm going to cut the laces out of that. Okay, so I'm not stamping any. I'm just using the dies to create my skates. Let me just take these down. I'm going to just take these down so they don't move when I'm running it through the mini cut and emboss. Okay. Hold those in place. And yeah, just do it like that. Okay, I can cut this a bit smaller too. Now I can put those through the machine all at the same time. Okay, so let's bring that in. What you guys saying? Not much. Okay, here's my mini cut and emboss. So I've got my plate number 3, and then I've got a clear plate. And then I'm going to pop these all on so I can cut them all at the same time. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trim this off. I'll tell you why. If it was just cardstock, I'd just run this through and use this at the end. But I'm going to save this piece. And sometimes if you run a foil through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, the etching on the plate will kind of score that silver paper, and then it becomes like something you don't want to use. So I'm going to cut it more to the size that I need. Okay. All right. Whoop. Okay. Now that looks good. Oop, there's my little skates. So cute. And there's my blades. You could use gray granite for your blades too. You don't have to use silver. We used to skate all the time when I was a kid. And then I grew up in Toronto. Then I moved to Vancouver, and we just didn't skate. But we skated every winter, my sisters and I think, well, my dad used to help take his turn at the school. They had outdoor rinks there, and he would take his turn kind of flooding it and getting the snow off of it. But I think, didn't Ellie, well, no. Ellie, did we have a rink in our backyard? Like, not a fancy rink. I don't mean like, oh, all fancy schmancy like they show. But did we ever have a little ice patch in the back? I have this feeling that we did. Anyway, I used to, there was this, so the skating rink, there were 2 rinks at the, we called them public school. It would be the equivalent of elementary school. There was 2 rinks. One was for hockey, and the other one was for just pleasure skating. And there would be like a boards around the edge, and like I said, the parents would take turns helping flood it and clearing it of snow. But sometimes I didn't want to take my skates with me and put them on there, so I just skated to the rink, the outdoor rink. Just on the, there was enough ice on the sidewalks or just in the snow drifts. Did anybody else do that, or was that just me? Anybody? I can just see myself, laughing, talking to my sisters, because I can see myself skating up Midland to turn on Tara there. Yeah, we did have a rink. I thought so, Ellie. I thought we did in our own backyard, right? Yeah. Boy, sometimes I remember lots of things, but sometimes I forget big things, right? Oh, hi, Rebecca from New Zealand. I don't think I've ever had someone from New Zealand. I've had lots of Aussies, but oh, welcome. So glad you found me. Okay, so we're going to build this, right? So we're going to have the laces, the boot, and the blades. And the other thing, if you're Canadian, especially Eastern Canada, I don't know if it was such a big deal in Western Canada, but my dad used to buy his gas at Canadian Tire, and then you would get the Canadian Tire dollars, right? And then you'd save them up, and you'd buy things, because the Canadian Tire still has everything, but had everything. And that was how I got new skates a lot of the time. Anybody else? Because I was too young. I was too much younger than my sisters, so I couldn't get their real hand-me-downs, because it would have been like 7 years holding on to skates. So I guess we didn't do that. So I guess I got new skates. Although I do recall sometimes getting used skates at the exchange, so I didn't always get new skates. Okay, here's the tip. Yeah, you can still get the Canadian dollars. Yeah, I knew that, Al, but it was just more of a bigger deal. And now they're called triangle points, and they put them on a card. It's just not the same as having a whole drawer full of Canadian dollars, Canadian Tire dollars, right? So you can see this little slit here, you guys. Can you see that? There's a little slit. So you're going to take these laces, and you're going to insert them in this little slit. Just like that. Okay, isn't that cute? And then what I did was I just turned it over, and I'm going to put a dimensional on those. Now, do you think that's where kids live on the coast do not get snow now? Oh, yeah, you live on the coast, yeah. Do people still go to Canadian Tire for things like skates, Ellie, or is probably not, right? It's probably they go to a sports store. But that was our sports store. Okay. Now it's got everything. Now it's got kitchen appliances, and I don't think there's anything you can't get at the Canadian Tire. My friend was visiting me a few years ago from Minnesota, and my husband had to go to the Canadian Tire. There's a huge one right by us. And so he took Tom with him. And Tom came home and said to my friend Patsy, "You wouldn't believe the store. The store, it's like fantastic. It's got everything." It's just hilarious. All right, next up. You have to go more inland if you want to go skating. Yeah, I guess you would. Yeah. All right, next up, let us take a piece of basic white, and I've got this image here. So the wreath, okay. I'm going to stamp it in garden green. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, there's a die that cuts this out, okay? And it's not that it's hard to line it up, but for me with my eye, I found it really hard yesterday. So I actually stamped and already affixed the die. I'm going to run it through, and then I'm going to actually see if I can get it lined up so you don't think it, I don't want you to think it's so hard you can't do it. But I wanted a backup just in case, because there's nothing worse than watching somebody try and line up a die. Okay, so that's it cut out. Isn't that great? But now I'm going to actually challenge myself to line this up. And I found that if you line up this centerpiece with this, that is a much easier way to get it lined up. I was going around like this, you guys, trying to line up these little leaves, and then I couldn't figure out where they actually were lined up. And I was giving myself like, I was probably too tired, too hot and too tired. Okay, so I want to, there we go. Okay, that's it. So basically I've got this big bulge here, and I'm lining it up with this opening here. And when you do that, it works perfectly. Okay, perfectly. There we go. All right, but I've already cut it out. Here we are. Now I'm going to color these in with, I've got dark soft sea foam. So I'm going to do that for the leaves. I'm not making it any, oh, I have a ladybug on my desk. That's good luck. I haven't had any more swarms. I had three in 2 weeks. Wow, 3 in less than 2 weeks. I had 2 swarms 2 days apart. Bees, I'm talking about honeybees, sorry guys. And they were from my neighbor, and they swarmed 3 times. She has 2 hives, so 1 hive swarmed and did not come. They landed too high, nobody could grab them. And then the next one, second hive swarmed, and they gathered it up. They bring a box over, and they tap all the bees into the box, and the queen goes in the box. And when the queen goes in the box, all the bees follow her. They took her home. They took them home and put them back in the hive. But the next day, they swarmed again. So now they've taken them 3 kilometers away, because apparently that resets them. Apparently. Let me just put this weight on so you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to color with light cherry cobbler, these little cherries. I'm going to use the bullet end though. Anyway, So this is a new bug. Got ladybugs now. Okay. I think that's all the berries and all the greenery. There we go. Isn't that nice? I like the contrast of the colors. All right. So that, and then I've got my 2 skates. And, oh, I've got some linen thread. What are you guys saying? You want your UPS man just delivered your order and you're opening or watching you. Okay. Hi, Sarah. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Sarah. Oh, you can hear the buzzing from my fan. Yeah, you guys, I am so sorry. I cannot, I couldn't teach in here without some fans. So I'm sorry for that. Honeybee Stamping Hive from Central Florida. Did you just hear my story about my swarming bees? Our little honeybees from my neighbors. My neighbor beside me and the neighbor 2 down each have 3 hives. So they visit my garden a lot. I love them so much. People are afraid of honeybees. I do not know why. They won't bother you. Just don't bother them and they won't bother you. They're actually quite docile, our little bees. And the actual people, the neighbors who come to grab the swarm back, it's just fascinating how they do it with their bare hands. You know, they've got like bee outfits on, like things on their faces and bodies. But they don't want to use gloves because if you use a glove, you'll squish a bee. And if you squish the bee, then the other bees will go, they just squished me and let's go sting this person who's squishing me. So they have these boxes and they just gently move them back into the box. It's crazy. Anyway, we've gotten lots of honey because we had so many swarms that our neighbors gave us jars and jars of honey. We got enough honey for a while. Okay, what I want to do now is on the top of my wreath. Gosh, Alison, speak. I want to use a glue dot. Now, these glue dots I love. These are from my paper pumpkin. So they're flat. But you can just use regular glue dots. Don't be deterred if you don't have paper pumpkin. So I'm just going to glue that little bow that we've tied in the linen thread. Was I talking and not explaining what I was doing? Probably. Grab this back. So let's get some dimensionals. They're all over my desk here. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to trim off the edges here. The buzzing from the bees on your video. Owie. Yeah. So I took a video. Yeah. Yeah, they do. It can seem kind of alarming, right? Because you've got it's like the sky is thick with them. So it's kind of like, I asked my neighbor how many bees would be in the tree that landed in my tree. And she said probably about 20,000, which sounds very awful, but they're not killer bees or anything. They're honeybees. They're little friendly little bees. Okay, so we're just going to put this on here like that. And then I want to add my skate. So I want to see where my skates are going to be. So I'm going to take that. Remember I put a dimensional on there to hold the laces on, and also I knew I was going to pop this up. So let's just do this. And I think I'm going to trim this off a titch. I want those to look like they're holding on my skates. Okay. And I'm going to just trim that, give this a little haircut. Take that off the back. Alrighty. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, I got an order today too, Keisha. Oops, look at me trying to hold this down while I'm trying to stick my skate on. I think that's how I want it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So I got my little skates are hanging there. Aren't they cute? Okay, now we need a saying. All right, I need another piece of I need another piece of pecan pie. Let me grab it. Okay, let's go pecan. Here we go, a little strip. And I'm just going to make sure I'm going to use this label. It's cutting it a bit short there. I think that's a bit too much of a challenge. I'm going to grab another little bit instead. Here we go. I'm going to use the same. Sentiment is going to be, I hope your days are filled with fun and laughter. Okay, so let's grab our embossing buddy because we want to make sure that we get rid of all the oil that's in our fingers. And I'll Versamark. And there we go. And I'm going to use white embossing powder. You could use black or gold or silver, whichever you prefer. Silver would be nice, wouldn't it? It would match the blades of the skate. Never thought of that. Oh well. And then we'll just recover all of that left over. Put the lid on. I don't want that to go anywhere. And then we can go ahead and heat set this. Okay. Well, you got your first decorated mask. Don't get intimidated. Which one did you choose, Keisha? Which mask are you going to use? The trees? Or did you go for the, I think you were waiting for the one that goes with the flowers, right? I think so. Last time you mentioned something, I think about that. Let that cool down. Now, this is from the Stylish Shape dies, right? But this is too big. Now, I could use it like this, but I don't want to use it like that. It's too big. I don't like it. So I'm going to move it along until it's closer, the words are closer to the right-hand side, okay? And then I'm going to tape this down. Okay. And then bring in my embossing machine, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Made a little mess here, you guys. And pop that on top, and we'll run that through. Ooh, I don't like the way I've done that. But anyway, let's see. It should work fine. Okay. Fingers crossed. It's a little close to the edge there. Okay, so this is what it will look like, right? Because that's how the die cuts it out. But I want to make it shorter. So all you have to do is take the die and reposition this piece. Okay, I'm moving this piece along from the left side. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And then you just have to find where you've got your little dots, your little divots. You just have to line those up on your die. You can feel it grab it. And once it's grabbed it, I'm just going to tape it down. You can see I'm basically going to be cutting off this end, making this a shorter label than was intended, but it still works. Okay. And then you end up, this is a little, oops, this is a little bit that came off the end, looks like a little arrow. And then there's your shorter version of the label. Okay. So if you didn't see me do that, just watch the replay. Let's pop this up. I know. Oh, you got the Frosted Forest. Yeah, I got it too. I haven't used it yet, Keisha. I'm a little intimidated. Rebecca, you know what? I used to be intimidated by embossing, or I just didn't, you know. And now, if you watch my lives, I think I emboss 99%. I don't know. I'm obsessed with embossing. Anyway, I have it all out and it's ready to go. Maybe that's why. You know, I don't have to put it away. So should we do that like that? Okay. What do you think? I like it. Now, I haven't got anything on the inside, but my sister Ellie is a stickler for if you've got a kind of a dark color, you should have something on the inside. I hadn't planned this, but I'm going to stamp the skates. So there is an actual stamp oops, that stamps the skates. And I'm going to use, I was going to use the green, but I don't think I am. I think I'm going to use the pecan just to tie it in, you know? Again, let me grab it. I have no idea what this is going to look like. I haven't even used this stamp before. Just kind of winging it. I'll just do that on the corner maybe. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks good. And then we can put that on the inside. So you have a place where you can write your sentiment. And good news, we've used a large stamp, so there won't be as much room to have to write a whole bunch of stuff. Right? That's why I like note cards sometimes. Okay. There we go. I think I'm finishing just in time because I'm starting to have a little bit of perspiration run down my face. Okay, so that's the one we made today. Let me move all of this stuff out of the way. Isn't that fun? Let's look at something else while we're here. See this? It's got a die. Look at the dies. So you can stamp that. You can cut it out. It's got the frame that will cut that out. Or you can build a sled out of cardstock. This die will cut out the bow here with the bow. And this one that looks like a kangaroo to me, I don't know why that looks like a kangaroo to me, but it cuts out the skates, the one we just stamped. And then that cuts out the bird. Okay, so fun. So there's our cards. One that I did as a sample, and then today's card. You like the skates inside? Yeah, Allie. Yeah, you're right. My sister's right. You have to put something inside. Oh, thanks, Mo. Thanks. Yeah, it's a fun card. It's pretty simple. Okay, so remember, I've got my class. Boy, my hair isn't looking so great at my hairdresser now, is it? Looking sweaty. Yeah, I like the country vibe too, right? Because it's sort of like old country, like when I was a kid. Now I will always see the kangaroo skates. I know, I'm sorry, it's true, but I don't know why. Does anyone else think that die looks like a kangaroo? Look, it's like there, look at it. It's probably because it's got this piece too. Oh, can you see it? There it is. Look at that. Okay, that looks like its little head, and that looks like it's coming down, and that looks like its big, thick tail. I don't know. Must be just me. Oh, thanks, Sonia. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, everybody, for coming. So, when will I see you again? I will see you on Sunday. Sunday at 10 a.m. my time, Pacific time. And until then, I hope you get some time to do some stamping and do some creative work. But check out my class. Check out my Sophisticated Sled class. The link will be in this video once I've ended the live. Okay, and you can watch the recording if you missed anything. All right, you guys. Bye for now. Happy stamping.